Okay, thanks again, everyone. Thank you for joining us. For all of you who just joined, welcome to Hudson&Canal takes data analytics to the next level with NetSuite Analytics Warehouse. We're very excited today to have Jade Fink, Director of Operations at Hudson&Canal, Esperanza Mosier, Database Administrator at Hudson&Canal, Myers-Holum, EVP at Myers-Holum, and Tayo Adeniyi, Principal Consultant at Myers-Holum. And before we get to the agenda and I turn this over to Knut, I just wanted to say we're all going to be on mute except for the speakers during the webinar. But what's exciting is that you can ask any questions you want to in the Q&A section. And at the end of the webinar, we'll get those answered for you. We're also going to be sending this out, the recording out. So if for any reason you want to share it with your colleagues, you can do so after the webinar. That'll be ready probably later today or tomorrow. So without further ado, let me just turn this over to you, Knut.
Thanks, Rebecca. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Knut Holum, co-founder of Myers-Holum, and I head our data warehousing and analytics practice. We're very excited today to tell you about our NetSuite Analytics Warehouse practice and to hear from our clients, Jade and Esperanza at Hudson&Canal, about their experience with this very powerful analytics tool for NetSuite. We've completed our introduction, so in a second I'll hand it over to Jade to tell you a little bit about Hudson&Canal. Then I will spend a few minutes giving you the basics of NSAW so you have a context for what you're looking at. I'll tell you about some of the major use cases for NSAW. Then Tayo and Jade will have a little conversation about how they're using it. And finally, Esperanza will demonstrate for you some of the analytics that they've set up in NSAW, how they're using it and how they're getting value out of the product. And time allowing, at the end, we'll have some Q&A. So with that, Jade, you want to tell us a little bit about Hudson&Canal?
Sure. So Hudson&Canal is a B2B e-commerce company. We focus mainly on the home furnishings market segment in the areas of lighting and occasional furniture, which you can see some examples up on the screen of products that we manufacture. We are a value-added distributor, and we distribute our products solely through the e-commerce distribution channel. We're a lean digital first company, and our business model allows us to pass the savings on to the end consumer through the retailers that we do business with. Okay,
thank you, Jade.
Sure.
So what is NSAW and what is its value to the business? Well, at a high level, NSAW is a pre-built data warehouse and business intelligence platform in the cloud, specifically for NetSuite ERP users. It bundles two long-standing enterprise-class Oracle technologies, Oracle Analytics Cloud, which is the end-user analytics tool set that Jade will show you, and Autonomous Data Warehouse, which is the cloud database engine for your data warehouse. NSAW is a unified platform with NetSuite, designed from the ground up to work seamlessly with your NetSuite ERP data. It was built and is supported and enhanced by NetSuite, so you can be assured of this seamless integration on an ongoing basis. As you'll see in Esperanza's demo in a few minutes, NSAW is very easy to use with an intuitive drag and drop interface for navigating your NetSuite data and for building and customizing your analytics. It's truly a business self-service analytical tool, so it doesn't require IT support, even for the most advanced analytics. The data pipeline to pull data from NetSuite is bundled into the solution. So you never have to worry about accurate and up-to-date NetSuite data in your analytics. It's always there. It's also quite straightforward to pull data in from your other business applications and blend it with your NetSuite data. So other systems such as cloud or on-premise applications or other personal data sources like spreadsheets and CSVs can be readily integrated into your data warehouse and blended with NetSuite, so you see a end-to-end view of your business operations. At Myers-Holum, we have a lot of experience with blending external data into NSAW, so we can help you do this quickly. And finally, NSAW comes out of the box with a rich set of pre-built analytic content for your NetSuite data, including KPIs and dashboards, data visualizations across the whole range of NetSuite functional areas. This means that you can start analyzing your NetSuite data as soon as you provision NSAW in your NetSuite instance and start unlocking the value of NetSuite data to drive your business decisions. So on this next slide, we've summarized some of the major use cases for NSAW that we've been seeing so far in our client projects. Certainly the key use case is this out-of-the-box content. KPIs, dashboards, visualizations for sales and procurement and inventory and finance. These can be easily customized and shared across the company, so you can deliver value very quickly with out-of-the-box content. An inventory snapshot subject area is included in NSAW with a nightly recalculation of inventory levels by time and location, and snapshotting that. So it's very easy to analyze changes in inventory levels over time, which is a high demand use case. Machine learning is built into NSAW, which allows you to build sophisticated predictive models to forecast sales and inventory, et cetera, based on built-in machine learning algorithms applied to your historical data, which will help uncover data patterns, and these patterns can then drive very accurate forecasts. Other popular use cases include pulling marketing data, campaign data from third-party platforms like HubSpot, Klaviyo, MailChimp, integrating third-party 3PL and WMS data with NetSuite, so you can get a full picture of warehouse and fulfillment operations. E-commerce analytics, pulling data from Google Analytics and various digital ad platforms. And Myers-Holum has also built a retail calendar extension to the standard fiscal calendar in NetSuite, which supports retail analytics based on the National Retail Foundation 454 calendar, supporting same week, same day, year over year, and other types of standard retail analytics. This was a simple add-on to NSAW and delivers a lot of value for retail businesses. Okay, so next on the agenda, I'll turn it over to Tayo to lead a brief discussion with Jade about their experience implementing and using NSAW.
Thanks, Knut. Hi, Jade. We're going to walk through a bit of questions, just kind of get familiar with Hudson&Canal's journey from zero to hero, like I always call it. So, Jade, what led you to consider NetSuite Analytics Warehouse? More like, were there any key business drivers that got you to that evaluation of picking NetSuite Analytics Warehouse as the platform of choice?
Sure. So one of our key pillars of success is process automation. As I mentioned before, we're a lean digital first company, and we really pride ourselves on process automation. So this past year, we hired Esperanza, our database administrator, and the next logical step was to start exploring different data warehouses to see what would be a good fit for us. We were maintaining a lot of reports in Excel. I'm not sure how many of you have tried to maintain a large workbook in Excel, but it becomes extremely cumbersome. We had workbooks that had gotten to the point where our formulas were just grinding to update. Our files would crash on us. It just wasn't, promoting what we pride ourselves on, which I mentioned was, being able to automate tasks that otherwise, we'd have to do manually. So we started to explore data warehouses, and we decided to go with NetSuite Analytics Warehouse, or NSA. And now, in the short 4 months that we've actually been utilizing NSA, we've been able to automate so many different things, and we're actually spending time analyzing information instead of just building out Excel workbooks.
So just moving on to the next question, I'll try to speak as loud as I can here. So why did you decide to go with the NSAW and Myers-Holum partnership, and how is it working for you so far?
Sure. So we looked at both Microsoft Azure as well we narrowed it down to Microsoft's offering as well as NetSuite Analytics Warehouse. And we decided to stay within the NetSuite family since we use NetSuite as our ERP, and move forward with NetSuite's Analytics Warehouse, mainly because it's an out-of-the-box tool. So it came mostly pre-built, which allowed us to ramp up quickly. You'll see when Esperanza does the demo portion, in the short 4 months we've been utilizing it, we've been able to accomplish so much. It's extremely dynamic, extremely user-friendly. So we've been very, very happy with it. And then we decided to move forward with Myers-Holum because they came very highly recommended by NetSuite. I know that NSA was a fairly new offering for NetSuite at the time that we decided to move forward with the product. And they, highly recommended Myers-Holum. And after speaking with them, we felt like they would be a good partner with us and allow us to properly implement the tool and go live.
Great. Can you hear me good?
Oh, that sounds a bit better.
Better? Okay,
Mhm.
Awesome. I had to switch to the other headphones. So when you were making the decision to use NSAW, what sort of improvements were you expecting, and have you discovered any benefits that maybe originally you didn't even anticipate, but right now you're kind of experiencing that as you get used to the platform?
Sure, absolutely. So I think that when most people think of a data warehouse, especially people that have never utilized one, I think they think of it just for reporting purposes, and they don't necessarily understand why you can't accomplish that with your ERP. I know that we had several users on our end until they actually started utilizing it. They didn't really get excited about the tool. They didn't really understand what they'd be able to accomplish with it. So for example, one of the areas that we've automated already in the short 4 months we've been utilizing it is the process of creating new items in NetSuite, our ERP. So previously, when we wanted to add a new item into our system, someone had to go into NetSuite, manually key it in and set it up. Or we also had a CSV template created for us, which we could fill out and upload, but there was a ton of different fields that had to be populated. We were pulling information from various different sources in order to fill it out. So you can imagine it can become extremely error prone and time consuming. So now with the use of NSA, we're loading all of that information from all of those different sources into the data warehouse. And every time we need to add a new item into our system, we just list out the items that we want to add. The template automatically populates for us, and all the end user needs to do is just upload it into our system. So it's saving us countless hours. And that's just one example of, an area that we're utilizing it for other than just reporting.
Great, thanks. Just one last question. As you know, right, the whole analytics space is like a journey, right? Like you're going through a journey from where you were to where you are today to where you're going to. So what would you say are your plans for NSAW going forward? You kind of mentioned that you've done a lot of like data warehouse management, report building, but are there like any other plans you have for the platform as you use it going forward?
Sure. So right now we're actually working on automating the flow of information from our PIM system into NetSuite via NSAW. So, if we didn't have NetSuite Analytics Warehouse, similar to the process of adding new items into NetSuite that I described before, someone would be keying in all that information manually or uploading a CSV file, which they filled out manually. So Esperanza is working on automating that process for us right now. But honestly, the possibilities are endless. Anything that you are currently doing manually in Excel, you can automate with NSAW. So we'll definitely be going through and taking a look at all of the manual work that our different departments are doing in Excel and trying to automate those processes.
Great. I'll hand it over to Esperanza to facilitate the demo session. Thank you, Jane.
Sure. Let me share my screen. Hello, I am happy to show this tool that we are using every day, all day long, and it's very easy to use. So this is the main menu of NSAW. We have so many options here. There are a lot of KPIs that already can build in. At the moment, we haven't even used the full potential of the KPIs yet. We have the console here as well, so where you can see all the options and maintenance for your data warehouse, also data configuration, and this is so easy to use, and it connects with your ERP system directly. You can configure anything, any data you need to bring over. Then this is the most that we use for our daily work. We create data sets. We can connect to different sources. In our case, we have our Dropbox. We get data from Dropbox. People save files in there, and we bring them into our data warehouse. There's a connection, and this is the ERP live data. From there, you can create any kind of source of data flow that you need to bring into data warehouse. This I will call the ETL processes, all what you need. And we have created many so far. And from there, you can create sequences as well that run this first and that run second and all that. And when you have all the data in the database, you can easily go to and create projects. When you create projects, you create the different kind of reports. As Jay mentioned, we not only use reports, we also use all of this database for many things, to create templates, to bring data into our ERP, to reconcile data from many sources, to align our systems, that we all to be sure that all our systems are consistent and have the same information. I want to share these 3 examples. This is not real data. We have it's format for this demonstration only. This is, for example, the item template. How we create, we send only the item and then everything else is populated. This is how you see it, the user sees it. And this is how easy you manage and create. You can drag and drop any kind. Look, all this amount of columns that before were populating manually each of them, but now in the system automatically populates. And you just drag and drop and you can see it, and then you can save it as CSV file and upload into your ERP. That is one example of them. Then we have another one is that we're reconciling inventory. Before this inventory, as I say, this is consolidated and just for demonstration purposes. But here we can have all the items for all the warehouses, for all the dates. And we want to see, as it was mentioned before, we do have an inventory snapshot every day consistently. We have never had a problem with that. We get a snapshot every day, and we compare with our 3PL, and we can see why we have difference and where are these. This is very useful for our finance department, and they check the differences and the why, and they can dig into data very easily. Before, all this was managed in Excel, and not only by one person, but by more than one, and each of them have to create their own presentation. They are manage their own workbook in Excel and download each of them the information. Now everything is centralized and automated. And at the same way, you can do also make reports. You can create reports, and to me, this is amazing because you don't need another tool. Everything is here, and the same data that you loaded, uploaded, transformed, you can query, and you can show in any way you want. And let me show you how many options you have for presentation. You have all these many options, and it's as simple as clicking it and you see it differently. It is very, very easy to use, and you can drag and drop, and you can change, you can put the values in the way you want, you can change by colors. The visualization way of using this is very simple. The filters, you just click here and you filter. It's very, very user friendly. So that's I wanted to share with you. This is my experience, and I'm very happy with it.
Thank you. And thank you for showing us your NSAW content, Esperanza. That was very interesting what you've done so far, and I know you've got a lot more that you're planning to do down the road. So at this point, we've got about 5 minutes left in our allotted time. Happy to field questions that Rebecca's been watching coming in on the chat, and we'll use the time we have left to cover those questions. If there's any more that we haven't covered, we'll follow up via email. So, Rebecca, do you have some questions?
Excellent. We do have one that's come in that maybe you could answer. When should we think about adopting NetSuite Analytics Warehouse? We're just implementing NetSuite ERP now.
That's a great question. If you have reporting and analytics requirements that you want available at or close to going live on NetSuite, there's no reason not to implement NSAW in parallel with concurrently with your NetSuite implementation. We typically recommend that you wait, you plan for a week or two of time lag after going live on NetSuite before you kind of flip the switch and go live on NSAW, simply because there's typically a lot of post-go live support activities and fine tuning going on right after the ERP go live, and you want to kind of divide and conquer. And you also want to stagger into your NetSuite implementation project by maybe 50% of the timeline for the ERP. Once you get halfway in, you can start the NetSuite implementation, because you're going to want to have made various decisions in your NetSuite ERP implementation, like what type of custom records and fields and lists you may need that you might then also want to pull into NSAW for analytics. So you want to get through that design process. But we have a number of clients who've done a parallel implementation and gone live with NSAW very shortly after their NetSuite go live, and it works well.
Okay, and what other data sources can you integrate into NetSuite Analytics Warehouse? Any digital traffic conversion data, that kind of thing?
Sure. There really isn't any limitation on what kind of third-party sources you can integrate. The database layer, Autonomous Data Warehouse, is fully open and extensible. You can create any number of different custom data schemas in there from various data sources. And there are a lot of options as far as how to do that data integration. You may have already a data integration or a system integration tool like Boomi or Celigo. You can leverage those. We've got some tools that we like to work with And basically you just, you build that integration directly into the data warehouse in NSAW. And then you customize the semantic layer to blend it with NetSuite data so you can do combined analytics.
Excellent. We also have another question coming in. Are there any pre-built reports and dashboards that people could see today, or is that something you'd like to share, Jade and Esperanza?
So unfortunately, it's our live data that would be showing if we were to share that. So Esperanza had put together a couple of different reports that we could share today with information that wasn't our actual, doesn't show our actual financials, but those pre-built dashboards would. So unfortunately, we can't show them, but I can confirm that they do come included. There's several pre-built reports, KPIs, et cetera, that come with the tool.
And we're certainly happy to schedule a follow-up and do a demo, show you all the pre-built KPIs and dashboards. We're happy to schedule that kind of on demand. We've done a lot of that and expect to do more.
Excellent. And there's, I think we can take one more question, or maybe two. Can you tell us a little bit about what is involved in building the custom data visualization, such as charts and so forth? Was it an easy experience, or how was it for you?
Esperanza, you want to take that one?
Sure. Yes, it's very simple. It's very easy to upload data from other sources to create reports combining different sources of data, all in the data warehouse. They are all talk to each other, and it's very simple just to create a visualization of it, or any way you want to present. I don't see any. I haven't had any problems, and I have created many reports.
And basically the building a new visualization is just a matter of figuring out what fields you want, dragging them over from that data explorer on the left, figuring out what style of visualization you want, like a bar chart or a pie chart or a pivot table or a table, and organizing the data into the dimensions of the report, and then you have your visualization. So it's quite simple. Rebecca, maybe one more.
Yeah, I think we're at time now, but I'd like to, if there's any questions we didn't get to, we'll make sure we do so in email, and we can also follow up, as Knut has mentioned, doing another webinar, and also just a very tailored, specific demo if you want to see visualizations.
Okay, thanks everybody for joining us. We look forward to interacting with some of you on a follow-up basis. And meanwhile, have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.